And let's jump right into it. We got Patrick Moraites, very involved in local charities. He's on the board of, you still on the Children's Cancer Center board?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be the incoming chairman of the board in 2019. So
nice, awesome, man. Lots of good work.
That responsibility.
Lots of good work, man. You're doing a great job out there. You got a cool event that you do as well around the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, a Charity Polo Classic that's coming up the last Saturday of February. So this will be our, I'm losing count, 7th or 8th year doing that event.
Nice.
All the proceeds, I think that what makes this event pretty unique is that all the proceeds benefit a local Tampa-based nonprofit. So everyone that sits on our board is volunteers. There's no operating capital to run this charity itself. So Charity Polo Classic, we are a 501c3, so we deploy 100% of the proceeds right back into the Tampa community.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's one of the concerns I think people have, in those areas over the years. We saw, I think it was really evident with the Haitian earthquake down there, right? Yeah. Like a lot of people, let's pledge money. People pledge money. They didn't follow through with the money. Mm-hmm. And then also on top of that, some of these organizations, when you give the money, bogus, a small percentage goes to actual groundwork.
So every year, the Charity Polo Classic, we take applications from local area nonprofits to be a beneficiary. And what we actually do is we do the due diligence on behalf of the Tampa community on each of those nonprofits. So we review their 990, which is a form that they have to file every year. And we review their financials, and we go through, just to do an appropriate due diligence process to make sure we do our fiduciary responsibility to make sure that your donation dollars does get redeployed back into organizations that are using it towards the mission.
Yeah.
Not using it towards, their own operating capital, that it goes towards what they said it's going to be towards.
Yeah, exactly. So, lots, high salaries for the operating staff and things of that nature.
The Children's Cancer Center has been a beneficiary of that event since its inception, and they're, a big partner and contributor to making the event a success and pulling it off. So yeah, we're excited to have them, to have that partnership.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had a great time in seeing that event a while back. And
Why Women Choose?
Yeah, that was a fun event.
They had that just last month, and that was a record. I think the net for that event
it was like
319,000 or something like that.
A lot of money, man. That's awesome.
And the crazy thing is that both the Charity Polo Classic and the Children's Cancer Center, it's fully funded by the Tampa community. So there's no government funding, there's no government grants. There's this is 100% local dollars. So that just says so much about our community.
Yeah, it does.
It gets me so excited to be here.
Yeah.
That we have just so many people that are willing to contribute and give back in such a meaningful way.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
We had one of the Panera CEOs. I can't remember her name.
Was it Kevin that you had, or
the gal? She's on the board with CCC too. I thought Vicky. Yeah, she was on here a little while back, and we talked about the 28 days of giving, or the different giving tree program, and it's just great because I pick my daughter up from school. We go into a store, we buy some unwrapped gifts, drop them off at the Panera, and then she gets a cookie.
Right, they're an amazing partner. I mean, Panera has been there through thick and thin with us, and what they do at all their store locations is incredible. The fact that you can donate, and I actually was dropping off. We donated, or we adopted a family this year for Christmas from the Children's Cancer Center, and dropping off the toys last night was just, it gave me goosebumps all over, just because the whole center is just filled. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
It's why you do what you do.
Exactly, man. It's awesome. So yeah, being involved. Patrick Moraites here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So you also own some other businesses outside of your nonprofit stuff. Right. So you got PEO Advantage, HR Shield. You're helping local business owners manage and outsource to a certain extent, right? Their human resource functions.
Yeah, that's spot on. So PEO Advantage is our core business, where we work with over 100 employee leasing companies across the country. And so PEOs, what they manage for small business owners, your payroll, your workers' comp, in some cases your benefits, can be your 401k and your HR, and it's all bundled together and through one vendor, as opposed to managing 5-6 different relationships.
Right.
And the affordability comes at not only the single point of contact, but leveraging the economies of scale that the PEO has. Because
Right.
under their tax ID number, they have 50,000, some cases 100, 200,000 worksite employees. So now you have the buying power, especially when you're a small company.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about later about financing and funding, but when you're a company that's looking for capital growth and things of that nature, you're focusing on other things. So if you can leverage that single point of contact
Yeah.
and a single resource to help manage all those functions of your business, and I know what's going to be important for Kelly to talk about is cash flow, right? So managing the cash flow of your business, a PEO stabilizes your cash flow because it becomes predictable. You're not having to put out deposits for your insurance. It's stabilized throughout the year, makes it predictable, makes it easier for her to do her financial assessments as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but there's so much to be, today as a business owner, you got marketing, you got administrators, outsource the administration, outsource the HR function, and don't focus on that. Focus on what you do best and allowing you to grow your business, develop those strategic relationships, maybe get involved with the Children's Cancer Center, the Charity Polo Classic as a volunteer. There's a lot of ways that you can get involved. We left off kind of talking a little about your HR Shield, your Alexa skill. And you and I both love marketing. It's one of our favorite aspects of business, right? It's, hey, what's in the future? What's coming next? How can we be ahead of that curve?
Yeah. So, in the PEO space, a big component of that is HR. We developed a company a couple of years ago because we felt that some of the vendors out in the marketplace were failing to deliver on that. So we started a company called HR Shield, where we actually provide the phone and email support for organizations that can for HR related questions and issues. There's an HR portal to where you can get videos and forms and everything else. But as the world begins to change and is continuing to change, a couple of months ago we started working on our Alexa skill.
Nice.
And it's probably due to listening to a lot of Gary Vee and stuff like that, and the push for audio. We launched a podcast called HR Rescue, and then putting the focus in on the skill with the mindset of these applications are in 90 million people have a Alexa device or a Google Home.
Yeah.
So at some point that's going to translate to having those in the workplace.
Yep.
And so we just launched the HR Shield skill, where you can ask it, simple transactional HR related questions from how do I terminate an employee? And it'll walk you through the appropriate steps.
Wow.
How do I, what is payroll? So for your startup companies, or, there's business related questions. What is an LLC? What is a CPA? So we're really trying to cater to that, curious person or entrepreneur that's looking to get things going and provide some guidance and direction for them. And should they ask a question that we haven't programmed yet, we get notified on the back end so we can program that question and continue to grow that out for the consumer based on the needs that they want out of it.
Yeah, super cool. It's intelligent. It's a way to be ahead of the curve. And so the idea as a business owner is to position yourself as the expert that people are relying on for those types of questions, the answers to those questions, and be in position to that point when their service is needed to be the first one they're going to call.
Absolutely. So we want to be seen as the thought leader. So if we can handle some of those initial transactional type questions when they need a handbook to be created or they need a policy to be built for their business, we can step in and help build that out, for their organization. Recently I went to event called Hacking HR, and this was a big topic it's just the evolution of HR with respect to blockchain, AI, and and VR.
So what do you mean by blockchain? So
blockchain, the interesting thing there, which until I went to this event, I didn't even conceptually think of it, but from a HIPAA compliance standpoint, now when you're talking about employee paperwork, especially when you're talking about employee benefits and things of that nature, blockchain is already being implemented in some of these large organizations to help protect the from a security standpoint of all the pertinent employee information and data.
Kind of like a chain of events. Is that what blockchain? I think I had Jason on the show talking about cryptocurrencies, and he was explaining how blockchain is actually being adopted by Walmart and other different companies in terms of the different types of inventory management, first in, first out, all those different types.
Yeah, because you have a unique identifier, so that the manner in which you onboard through the blockchain will replace your social security number and things of that nature to help protect from identity theft and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's transitioned into AI with some of these larger companies where they've programmed bots to be able to answer health-related questions for your benefits plan that's already in place, that's been put in place by your health insurance broker.
Yeah.
Now the bot can answer some of the questions about the plan and interact with the employee that may be in New York, but your corporate office is here in Tampa, and it's a bot communicating back and forth, answering some of these.
There's a lot of that going on. It's like an autoresponder, kind of like the old school autoresponder with your email campaigns and whatnot, right?
Virtual assistants is what they're calling them.
Yeah. But technically, it is a computer system that's written to identify the question and respond with the appropriate answer.
Right. That you've programmed as the employer, or in this case for us with our HR Shield skill that we've programmed into, because ours is a bot as well that's being deployed through Amazon Alexa
skill,
and then through Google Assistant as well.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. By the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Patrick Moraites here, PEO Advantage, HR Shield. He's involved with the Children's Cancer Center. He's operating the Charity Polo Classic every year as well, raising a lot of money here in the Tampa Bay market. So we talked about blockchain. We talked about AR. The last one you said was VR.
AI, and then VR. Virtual reality. I think we're a long ways away, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays into business.
Right.
I can't think of how it incorporates from an HR perspective, but I'm sure someone's already down that thought path. Probably more so from a cultural standpoint. So you've got a lot of HR organizations that focus in on culture within organizations. So I'm sure there'll be something with breakout sessions where instead of doing a offsite company outing, you're going to get to the point where you plug in your VR and you're whisked away to some team building type of exercise through virtual reality.
Yeah,
that would be something that I could envision happening with where the world is going.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yesterday's show we had Joe DeRing on the show from Empower Adventures, the zip lining in Oldsmar. Yeah. So he talked a lot about team building and developing that. We're doing something in January for our real estate company as well as our show partners. So all of our show partners are invited for that, and
that's awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I could see happening in the future.
Yeah,
with respect to where technology is taking us.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. You look at the way that speaking of Gary Vee, he's a leader, a thought leader in the process in the marketing space, and gives away a lot of the best content for free.
Right.
And so that's interesting when you look at how marketing's progressed over the years.
Yeah, we've kind of adopted that philosophy this year with HR Shield. We've got a YouTube channel that just pumps out how to handle certain HR situations with respect to if your employee's drunk at work, or most recent one was my employee got arrested, now what? So kind of addressing those things because when you're a newer company or even established company, these are things that you don't plan for. That how do you address? I've personally had to deal with an issue where there was complaints about an employee's hygiene. So it's man. How do you deal with someone that has body odor in the workplace
without getting sued?
Right.
Without getting sued.
And those are the things that we've put out there on our podcast and YouTube and everything else to help the business owner for free.
You got a good stocking stuffer idea for them. All right, stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace.